Do I have to focus on one thing as a creative? Hi, my name is Mary. Welcome to Creative Eden, where we explore and have candid conversations on what it means to create for God's glory. Do I have to have one singular focus as a creative? Do I have to focus on just one of my creative expressions? That's a challenge that quite a number of creatives go through, especially people who happen to be gifted in more than just one area, or even if they're gifted in one area, they have multiple expressions of that gift. For instance, you could be gifted in the area of music, but you're not just a good singer. You could also be a good producer. You could also be a good instrumentalist. You could also be a good songwriter. And so while your field is a field of music, there are various expressions of it. Which one do you do at any given moment? Do you do all of them? Do you do some of them? How do you decide? Simple if you ask me. My rule of thumb, and if you've been here for a minute, you know what I'm going to say. Ask the Lord. It's a quick and easy and foolproof way to get the answer that you need, the answer that will actually work for you. You can guess what you're supposed to do. You can do trial and error. You can try doing a bunch of things and hope something sticks. You could try looking at trends that are changing every other day, and by the time you're doing one thing that was trending, there are 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 new trends that have come up. Or you could simply go to the one who is the source of your creativity, who created you, and who knows the times and seasons, including what is coming ahead in the future even before you do, and just ask him, Lord, what would you have me do? What would you have me focus on? One of the examples I like to give of someone who I believe has stewarded multiple gifts really well is a Nigerian musician and photographer known as T.Y. Bello, who has both photography and music as her creative expressions. Perhaps she has more, but those are the two that I know of. And one of the things she says about how she is able to do both really well, because she's in full-time photography and every so often she releases music, is she says, I have seasons where music calls me. And inherently what she's saying is that there are seasons where God pulls her and causes her to draw nearer to the grace she has for music. And this does not mean that she abandons her photography, which is her full-time business. It's her full-time creative expression. But it does mean that she changes and has to be more flexible to accommodate the music part of her gifting. And there's a way she's able to manage and handle both for God's glory. Is it easy? Definitely not. She's not just a photographer and a musician. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a business owner, she's many other things. But through the leading of the Holy Spirit, she's been able to express the diverse gifts that God has given her. And you may know a person or two in your life or in your circles who is similar, who has multiple creative expressions, multiple creative gifts. And if you look at the way they're stewarding them, there's an intentionality with which they pursue certain things in certain seasons, and with which they also table or shelve momentarily certain things in certain seasons, not because they're not being good stewards, quite the opposite actually. Maybe it's a season where God is calling them to rest when it comes to that side of their creativity, because the same way we see that even land, literal land that we plow and dig and farm in, sometimes requires times of rest so that the soil can rejuvenate and regain its nutrients so that the next harvest can be even better than the last. Is very similar to how we are as creatives. We have seasons where we need to just be fallow, to just be there in God's presence and allow Him to re-energize us, re-inspire us, to refill us again, so that when we go out there, we're not operating from a place of deficit, but we are operating from a place where we are fully filled and fully powered by Him. So, do you have to focus on one thing? No, but you do need to focus on what God requires you to focus on. Whether that's just one thing or that's multiple things depending on the season you're in, that's between you and Him to talk about and agree on. And I really hope you do, because you will see the fruit and the benefit of doing it in your creative life, and even in the other parts of your life that no longer have to compete with your creative gift, but now find complementary expression alongside it. Thanks for joining me in today's episode. I hope to see you in the next one.